So, if you play video games, you more than likely know what Fallout is. And if you know what Fallout is, you should have played Fallout New Vegas. If you didn't, then stop watching now. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, so Fallout has been on a downfall since Fallout 4, because Fallout 4 was a good shooter, but a bad RPG. Fallout New Vegas was amazing, but it was a meh shooter and a very good RPG. Fallout 3 was an alright RPG and a terrible shooter. And Fallout New Vegas was obviously a peak, but then Fallout 76 came into the mix, and that name strikes fear into the hearts of many, because of how egregiously bad it was. So we've been on a Fallout hiatus of good games. Fallout 4 wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. So for the past 6 years, we've been on a downward spiral of Fallout games. If you hate Fallout 4, then I guess you could say the downfall started after New Vegas, but the point is, we haven't had a good Fallout game in a good while. And I've been thinking about, okay, well, let's say we had a new Fallout game. Where would it take place? Where would I want it to take place? And this question has given me two ideas that I would really like to see. Alright, one of two. Either Mexico, because Mexico has so much lore that was spread out throughout New Vegas, yet we never get to go across the border. So that would be really, really interesting to see, is what Mexico is like. In the Fallout lore. Or, if we want to keep it in the US, I would say, I would probably want to see Florida. Because, like, South Florida, I feel like would be a really cool area. Because Miami is little Cuba. I don't know if you know or not, but... So you could get, like, the best of both worlds. We could get a little bit of the Spanish storyline in there. Maybe you could travel to Cuba. They probably wouldn't do that, because Bethesda is lame nowadays. But, that would be a cool idea. We could find, like, old, Fidel Castro, propaganda there. That would be cool. Or no, because, okay, never mind, I'm done. The bombs dropped way after that, so. Like, Miami is little Havana, so there's that. And then there's the abundance of rednecks. That would be really cool. We could have, like, okay, here's my idea. Not one of the main factions. Or, well, it could be. It's like a scuffed brotherhood. Maybe we could go back in time. Like, a pretty good while after the bombs dropped. Like, a makeshift version of the Brotherhood of Steel. Somewhat. Maybe. Look, I just want to see rednecks try and kill you with swords. I want there to be, like, a faction of devoted rednecks trying to reunite the United States in Florida. And that could be one of the major factions. Sort of like the Enclave, but less brutal, per se. I feel like that would be really cool if we had, like, some, I just want to see some rednecks with swords, dang it. Now, I'm not saying they need to wear, like, full knight armor, but they need the knight helmet. They need a knight helmet, and I feel like that would be really cool. That could be their grunt's armor. It's always the helmet. And then the theme for the trailer of the game could be American Pie by Don McLean. You've heard it. If you haven't, look it up. So That would be cool. And it could be opening shots of Havana before and after the bombs. That would be cool. Or like Little Havana, Miami, Miami. And then through the abundance of tourist attractions in Miami, that would make such a great explorable environment. There could be a group of drug kingpins. That could be one of the major factions. Maybe that's the Cuban faction. Like, 'cause I feel like they kind of deserve their own faction in the limelight. That would be cool. We could get like a Tony Montana-esque Scarface. Okay, again, don't hold me to this. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to have like some ghoul version of like Tony Montana. Caesar's Legion was a thing. I don't know if y'all remember or not. I mean, and the Rednecks with Crusader helmets. Again, it's not out of the question, in my opinion. I mean, one of the smaller factions in Fallout New Vegas was, what were they called? Like I said, Scuffed Brotherhood of Steel. They wear like SWAT bulletproof vests, kind of like Joshua Graham did. And they wear like bulletproof stuff, kind of. They wear like helmets, like night helmets. That would be cool. I want to say I want to see Joshua Graham make a return. I feel like I want him to be like a peace negotiator between the treaties. He's like yes man in this game. As long as they do it right and respectfully and pay respects to Fallout New Vegas and the way they do it, it will be really, really cool. Like, I just want to hear Joshua Graham quote another Bible verse again. You know, that was always really cool. So that's why I feel like it's pretty cool the way he does it. Joshua Graham is cool. Look it up. Look up some Joshua Graham quotes. I just feel like it would be cool to see him make a return. Like, and him, like, quote Bible verses as he's telling you, alright, buddy, you can either side with the Rednecks, the drug lords. I want the independent option from Fallout New Vegas. I want that as a fourth option. For the people who are like, alright, I can't decide, well, what in the world I want out of this, because, okay, alright, I killed Mr. House and went independent in my first playthrough of Fallout New Vegas. Because, like, okay, the factions are conflicting. Because Caesar's Legion is brutal and they own it. The NCR has a holier-than-thou mentality. Because they go on with good intentions, but most of them are paid off. And a lot of them are, as you could guess, lobbyists. I don't know what that word means. I don't know what that word means. Like, they're paid in, they're paid off to side with all these other factions. They're bought and paid for, basically. That's what the NCR is. They're crooked as they come, except the grunts. They are the ones with, like, all the motivation, determination. They have the good ideals at heart, while the people who run the whole thing don't, and they're crooked, but they'll stand behind their posts and say they're holier than thou. But, yeah. Now, Mr. House, I killed Mr. House because I wanted to go independent, but, looking back, arguably, if I wanted to choose the faction and not make an independent New Vegas, arguably Mr. House is the best option. He's the less dictatory. He ain't doing a good job of holding down the Mojave, but if he could just kind of amp up his stuff a little bit, he could kill it. I feel like if he tried hard enough, he could bring in some settlements. I just feel like that's the problem with Mr. House. He don't try enough. Anyways, back to the main point. An independent option for the people who can't decide. And then, I don't know what the third option would be. Ooh, maybe the Enclave. An Enclave could come back. I love the Enclave. Well, they wouldn't mesh well with the Crusaders. Because they have the same core ideals. Except the Enclave is more advanced. Who would the third faction be? And this is just for Fallout Miami. This is my idea. One thing that would be really cool is, some, like, sea monsters. Because in Fallout 76, now if there's one thing that Fallout 76 did good, well, it's urban legends and incorporated monsters in there. You can kill Mothman. So that would be really cool, and especially the swamps. Oh my gosh, the swamps could be like the Rednecks, the Crusaders place area, you know, kind of like how, the NCR is, like, majorly in, like, the southwest and northwest and places like that, and then Mr. House stays in the center on the strip, and, the Legion takes to the east. You know, that would be cool to see, and, something like that. Like, the drug kingpins could hold the strip. The rednecks could hold the swamps. And then we need to find somebody who would hold the coast. Or no, well, the strip is on the coast. Here in Fallout Miami, ideally. And then, what in the world would we have? Who would the third faction be? That is the question. That is the question. I want to say, maybe, I don't want to bring back any old factions. Maybe if you really wanted, we can make the Brotherhood like a supporting faction. I don't feel like they need the limelight too much. Ooh, we could have some biker MCs as a supporting gang. They back the drug kingpins. They run their own stuff. Maybe we could have like okay. Fallout China has not been developed really well, as Fallout Mexico has, like, an ideal concept. There's much more lore to Mexico that is way more interesting than China. So here's my idea, alright? So we haven't really explored Europe much. Why don't some Russians mosey their way down onto the coast? Here's my idea. And the Russians... No, that ain't a good idea. That ain't a good idea. But I got the base concept down. Bethesda is okay at writing RPGs, I would say. Obsidian is amazing at writing RPGs. Played Outer Worlds and Fallout New Vegas. If you have not, you're missing out if you don't. Oh, we could have a cult. Okay. The cult could be like the Legion of Fallout Miami. Right. They're evil. Their leader knows it's evil, and they know it. And then the followers just kind of, they're like, alright, we're gonna live and die for this.
Alright, my guy. The Crusaders, like, they're more to the NCR. They're more akin to the NCR in a lot of ways. I feel like they would be. Like, a more standout version of the NCR due to the helmets. You know, I feel like it would make more sense for that to happen. Because, like, they're more... I need to figure out who would lead all these. Like, the Crusaders would lean more towards NCR because, except they would have... And it would make sense because the actual Crusades were motivated by greed after the first one, mostly. The first one was the only one that was really successful and was truly motivated by religion. But, like, the Crusader helmets would look cool, and it would make them stand out more. It would be a cool character design choice, is what I'm saying. And another thing is the, maybe, like, we could pull an NCR. Maybe. Their leader has some backwards intentions, but most of the rest of the followers have good intentions. They're not bought and paid for like the NCR, but their leader has some money in mind. All right, and then for the drug kingpins, I believe they would be more interested in controlling the land, not for control, to control the real land so they can control their product. I feel like that would be pretty good. That would make a lot more sense. Like, they are motivated by greed. The cult is motivated by power. And we need to cover all three bases. Greed, power, and I don't want to say righteousness, the Crusaders, because that would make them seem like the one good option. Whereas in Fallout New Vegas, there's no one clear option. It makes you sit there and think, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to decide? Like, you're conflicted. They could be motivated by, oh my gosh, I can't think. What in the world they could be motivated by? Because I don't want to say righteousness, because that makes them sound good. Maybe, just maybe, they're motivated by, they want to control the place so they can rebuild. They want to rebuild. The kingpins want to leave the place the way as it is, so and keep people in poverty, so they can get more people hooked on drugs. And then the cult wants to recruit more followers, so they can expand north. And then eventually make their way out to Havana. Again, this is where boats would be cool. We could get our first ever vehicles in a Fallout game. Boats. Free-range boats. We could get a couple islands, maybe. That would be cool. Not just Cuba. The Bahamas would be cool. There could be a DLC where the Bahamas are at. And they wouldn't just like cover the rich American part. They could cover the more poor and impoverished part. You know, that would be cool. You could have some tribals. Again, if they can do it right, I believe Miami would be an amazing setting. With all the swamps. It's just a diverse location. That or Oregon. Because Oregon has everything. They have snow, sun, desert, you name it, they have it. Beach. Which Oregon would be iffy. But I feel like we haven't covered the South Coast much yet in Fallout game. So, Fallout Miami would be my... If we're not taking it out of borders, somewhere out of the U.S., then I feel like Miami would be a prime camp. Or just southern Florida. So yeah, like if you like it, dislike if you dislike it, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Because I'm gonna make a video. No, I'm not gonna make a video on Fallout New Mexico. I mean Fallout Mexico. Because there's thousands of video on that. No, I ain't heard nobody say Miami yet. So there's my idea. I'm throwing it out there. Fallout Miami would be my prime candidate as to the location of the next Fallout. So here you go. If this game did come out, if they had like if it is in Miami, I would be siding with the Rednecks, because you can't have a place set in the South that doesn't have Rednecks. It's the law. So yeah, like, subscribe. Yeah, we're done.